Hello everyone and welcome back to this week's FailRace versus Community. This week we're running some B-class front-wheel drive races. We're in a Renault Clio that we used for a previous set of regulations a few weeks ago. Starting off here at Mid-Ohio from P6. Someone's got a very poor run. That's Stevie dropping down the order, but Stevie's going to hold the inside to us as we head through the long left-hander of turn 1 here. Ian running a little bit wide. We follow suit as well, getting into the cones. Separating the other layouts of Mid-Ohio. Slows us down a little bit, allows Longbow to get to was our outside for the hairpin. Little bit of rubbing as we go round the hairpin, but Longbow will eventually fall back as we head down the back straight here at Mid-Ohio. One of the key things to note for the Renault that we're reusing is the regs that we used it for previously. Very similar, except they required sport tyres. And I haven't changed it for the car, as we see Ewan getting into the back of Stevie, punting them wide. That's going to give us an opportunity here as we get into the middle sector, looking to the outside of Ewan. Now he'll become the inside into this right-hander. Ewan's going to try and hold it around the outside. We just might leave enough room for Ewan, but does kind of put us offline as we're just trying to defend the inside here as we to the end of the middle sector. You can see a big pack of cars behind us now, all fighting for position. As Glisker is now the next to get through Stevie and Ewan, and it's now putting pressure on us. A little bump through the penultimate corner, or not the penultimate corner. This long right-hander is the penultimate corner. Another little nudge from Glisker, putting us a little bit wide. But we try and hold on for now. Glisker getting a bit of a cutback though, is going to look towards the inside as we head towards turn 1. Has a little bit more momentum than us, and we'll get the move done into turn 1. Just decide to slot back into line. Don't want to lose too much time from fighting. As we're going to see here, with the sport tyres, it does seem like we're not the best in terms of grip, as we see in Pega. Looks like trying to make a dive into the hairpin. Stevie, I believe that was. No, it wasn't Stevie, it was someone else, was out wide round the hairpin. So we're back up to P5, but Pega is closing up on us now. They seem to have straight line speed on us as we head towards down the back straight, and they're just going to clean out, break us around the outside, get the move done. We could have been a little bit more aggressive on the brakes, but wouldn't have been enough to hold on to the places. We're back to defending now once more. So yeah, a little bit disappointed not to have as much straight line speed on a car that is also running arrow. Not sure what the Sentra is on tyre wise though. So through middle sector, big dive from the car behind. The space was there. They'll get the move done cleanly. We didn't quite shut the door. We'll try and shut the door on Grumples coming up behind us now as we head up here. Got to look to the inside, but the door isn't going to be there. It's just going to drive into the back of us again. But into the penultimate corner now. We're just going to try and hold a tight enough line to cover the inside. Grumples does get a nose up in there, but there wasn't. There's enough space to put the nose there, but wasn't able to carry the momentum. And we'll have to slot back in line. There's quite an angry train of cars behind us, as you can see on the replay, sort of all queuing up and trying not to fight amongst themselves too much, that they end up losing out. You can see Alex in the background well, wide at turn 1. But as we head into the hairpin, Grumple's not close enough to put us under pressure. We'll have the grip though through the hairpin to get the nose up the inside. We'll have to leave space on the exit. But Grumples won't have the momentum on the exit hold around the outside, but looks like a bit more acceleration. They'll look to the outside as we have someone else coming. It's Stevie coming up as well, as we have much more straight line speed than the Parvis, and we'll slot the gap down the middle, but slightly outbreaks himself. Grumples goes for the cutback. We try and get to what will be the outside of this left-hander now, having to send it from a little bit back. Can we quite get the inside for the right-hander? No, we're not quite far enough alongside, and we have to back out of that one. So falling to 9th now. Ewan, the next in the queue, trying to pass us as we head at the end of the middle sector. Not covering the inside here, but luckily Ewan not quite close enough to take advantage of that gap. You can see the car behind you and getting very close to them as well on the radar. But as we head through into the final few corners, Ewan's gonna be looking. We're not going to open the door though to make it easy. Try and keep it tight on the right-hander here. You can see Ewan's looking for the gap. but we're holding the door firmly shut through the final couple of corners on to lap 4 now. But Ewan, big run, decides not to go for any move into turn 1. It's a very short braking zone, so it's difficult to get past. As see Stevie running out wide onto the grass, though we're not close enough to take any advantage. And Ewan, with that momentum now up towards the hairpin, we'll try and get the move done. We're going to try and send it back on Ewan on the brakes, retake the place. We just about pull the car up in front of Ewan, who can't get the cut back, and coming under pressure now from the car behind them, which might help relieve us of some pressure as we head down the back straight here. Ewan once again using that straight line speed to pull clear of that other car. We're going to shut the inside that Ewan was really wanting to commit to, and so with Ewan committing to a gap that wasn't there, that we covered off, has to wait in line through the middle sector once more. It's coming under big pressure from Longbow, this is, who's going to try and look up the inside, and it's going to pry the gap open and force their car into it, and that gives Ewan an opportunity to get a cutback on us and try and get us here into the right-hander, but has a little bit of contact with someone behind. I think they end up in the grass, couldn't quite see, but that allows Alex to come through and to be next up in the queue to try and pass us in their Volvo. As we head through the final couple of corners, Alex, I know, is someone who does like a move down the inside here, so we're just going to make sure we shut that door. As we could see, a lot of fighting in the replay there behind us as we come on to start finish straight now, starting lap 5. We're going to try and see how long we can maybe hold on to here into turn 1, as they're 3 wide into T1 in the background. Really hotting up in that fight. Hopefully that allows us to just pull a little bit clearer. See, Alex has the acceleration. We'll pull in front. We'll try and do the same as we did with Ewan, just get back down the inside. We're not quite able to get in front like we did with Ewan, not as aggressive with the dive, and annoyingly Alex just is able to hold it round the outside. Alex having not just the straight line speed, but grip advantage on us as well. Sport tires doesn't seem to be working out in this scenario, unfortunately, as we head into the middle sector. With the slipstream, we didn't fall too far back from Alex there. We only lost by a car length, but we'd like some sort of advantage. We're not going to be defending from someone who's both faster than us in the corners and on the straights, as we now turn our attention to behind once more. Next up is Absol, as we're not losing too much time, in fairness to Alex here, but especially when the straights come, Alex is just going to pull out that little bit more of a gap, sort of car length by car length, and yeah, we'll just slowly open that gap out. Alex making no mistake there into the final corner, but we'll get away with it. The car has the grip to cut back for a late apex. As you can see, he pulls out that gap again. Absol's struggling to really get onto back of us. They're just a few car lengths back, not quite close enough to make a move. Running slightly wide here through turn 1 is going to cost us a little bit of momentum. That allows Absol to just close up slightly, but they're not going to be close enough for a move here into the hairpin. But you can see they're closing up on the brakes. Can we get a good exit from the hairpin? Look how much they gain through the middle of the hairpin. We do get a slightly better exit, but they are closer than they were before. But they themselves, of course, being part of this train, are coming under pressure as well. I believe that's looks like an Opel of some sorts. It might be misjudging what that car is in the background. But Absol's got to the outside after the long back straight. We're going to try and hold it side by side through the middle sector, and we just about get in front of Absol again into the right-hander here through the middle sector. We're going to try and now defend, hold on to the place. We just try and take a slightly tighter line, try and hope it's tight enough to hold on, but Absol gets us in the later part of the corners. We run slightly wide from the apex. Shadow is going to try and follow through. We defended what was the inside, but then the outside for this left-hander, and there isn't really anything we can do here as Shadow gets past in the Vauxhall, and now we're going to have Danger Man try and follow Shadow through round the outside for the penultimate corner. They get the move done. Yun is also then going to try and follow through as well. He'll get to the inside. We have straight line speed. We try and pull out to get an overlap with Danger Man. But you're a little resistant to giving us the space there. We'll hold it side by side through turn 1 up towards the hairpin now. Can we get back in front of you? And we can't quite outbrake you, and this time that's mainly because he's outbraked himself, running off wide into the gravel at the hairpin here on the final lap. Now next up is Coffee, who's a few car lengths back now, but certainly running out of opportunities if they want to get past us. Doesn't look like we'll be able to close in on any cars in front. As they've sort of filtered their way past us, they've all just spread out, so no one's really slowing each other down, unfortunately for us. So we'll just have to try and fend from the, I believe, I think that might be Mazda, I want to say. My car knowledge is awful. I think that is a Mazda 3 Series? I really can't tell. Either way, both them and the Vauxhall behind them run it out a little bit wide through this middle sector, which is probably going to diminish any opportunity they might have had through these final few corners. So after starting P6, P14, obviously big disappointment. Sport tires really not working out here at Mid-Ohio. And yeah, having to settle for 14th. Really struggling with pace, didn't have any sort of strong points. Everything was a weakness for us, and you can see running over 2 seconds a lap slower than the front runners, about 2.5 seconds even. Yeah, real struggle for pace there. Everyone that was in front of us had significantly faster laps. So yeah, it wasn't going to do much good for us there. We move now to Road Atlanta for first race in Road Atlanta in the new game, in the heavy rain this time. So maybe that might help the sport tires. Starting from P9, it's an alright start, but things are closing up here. Someone's got a bad start, and someone has been blocked out from that, who got a good start behind us. As we go through turn 1, we're just sort of taking it cautiously, trying not to get involved in anything or run out wide like that red car did on the left hand side. As we head into the S's, we're looking to the outside of white Volvo here. We'll get a good run as we plant the throttle down, and we'll get in front, taking P5 there into the S's here, trying to close onto the back of Coffee, who was the first car that finished behind us in the last race. So they were a little bit further back. They might not have too much pace. Of course, the heavy rain could kind of flip everything on its head here. Of course, Road Atlanta has a longer straight here that we're coming up to soon. But we're on the back of Coffee into this tight right-hander. The green car in front going a bit wide. Coffee going very wide onto the grass. That will gift us P4 as we get a good exit on to the back straight. Unfortunately, bit of a distance to the cars in front over a second. But the Vauxhall is closing up on us again down this back straight. They have good straight line speed. We're going good defensive, holding inside. The Volvo goes to the outside. It'll be battle on the brakes into the chicane here. We hold the inside, and we just about slip in front for the second apex, holding on to P4 for now. As the green car in front loses the place, dropping down to third. So we're going to cut on halfway through the second lap. The green car, Javi in their Renault Clio as well, running out wide, getting onto the grass a little bit and running wide once more. That's going to give us an opportunity to look to the inside, but taking that tighter line has slightly compromised our exit. It's going to be a drag race then down this back straight, or up and down this back straight, kind of is crests and troughs down here. But as we get towards the end, heading now to the downhill, we've just about nearly gone in front. We're sort of squeezing Javi tighter to the inside, and we'll get the move done under braking, and we can take the first apex, taking P3, putting ourselves on the podium here. Pace certainly seeming better in these wet conditions. As we cut further on to lap 4 now, onto the back straight once more. Impega has cut up to us, and as we know from Mid-Ohio, that Sentra has a bit more straight line speed than us. As we head down towards the chicane, though, speed has sort of evened out here. If anything, we're starting to gain now towards the chicane, so it seems like that top speed, we do have a slight advantage on the Sentra, but we're not able to outbrake it Nissan just getting in front of us as Grumples now closes up on us and tries to look for a move, but the gap wasn't quite there for them. As we head now through the final corner, do we have the grip on Impega? We're closing, we have a bit of a run, but we don't really have anywhere to go with the run. As we head into turn 1, we're just going to take it a bit cautiously into here, being right on Impega's bumper. Don't want to bump them wide or do anything dirty. Into the S's now, maybe we can get an opportunity through here, taking a lot of curb over the first apex. We're actually going to cut now on to lap 5 in the slipstream of Impega. We're closing quite a lot with the slipstream at the end of the straight. Unfortunately, not quite close enough to go for a move through the chicane. We get a good exit here and we get a run. We're going to look to the inside of the final corner. Very difficult corner to go side by side. We're going to run a little bit wide, but we're still going to try and give room to Impega. He runs wide off by himself. No contact there. From what I could tell, so I would say it was all fair and clean. Impega just running wide. We'll have the inside into turn 1, but Impega's going to go for a cutback. We're going to try and hold the door shut, but we just about open up enough of a car's width for Impega to find their way through. And going into the S's, we just back out. We don't think it's quite worth going too wide into the S's, especially with how little of an overlap we had. So going through these S's, we're trying to just get a slightly different line, though running a bit wide there is maybe going to leave us vulnerable to the Clio behind us, Alpine livery Clio that is. And we're going to try and stay close to Impega because we know we do have the top speed on them, even if we don't quite have the initial acceleration. So there is a potential here down the back straight. Just gotta make sure we have a clean couple of corners here before the straight. Closing up a little bit on the brakes, but running a little bit wide. You can see the traction and acceleration that Impega has, pulling out quite a few car lengths, which might leave us a little bit too far back. As you can see in the replay, Alex is getting past the other Renault Clio in their Volvo. And as we know from Mid-Ohio, again, they do have more straight line speed than us, so they're closing in on us. We're using slipstream of Impega. We're not as close as we were last lap, but we're just having to defend from Alex a bit. We know Alex was much better than us in the dry up Mid-Ohio, so will he be able to get a move here? It's looking very unlikely, as we're already sort of out of opportunities heading towards the final corner. While it isn't quite flat out, it is too close to being flat out. A small braking zone. You can see how much Alex closes up through that final corner, but he will just run out of time and will hold on to P4, which is, considering our pace in the first race, very, very good. You can see through the fastest laps. Our pace was very similar to a lot of people around us, so we did well in the opening couple of laps to get up into P4 and hold on to it. That's however going to do it for this episode of FailRace versus Community. We'll be back with some more races later this week. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.